The human mind is the first stage in the development. If the human is not too immersed in its own ego and has the wisdom to learn, all creatures, the low and the high, can teach us their virtues. The four creatures do not have an ego. They have no pride. They have no insecurities. They are equipped to survive. And that's their mission. A tiger that lives in the wild, for example, just like any of them, does not hunt for sport. If it fails to catch prey to eat, it just goes to the next prey. No insecurities, no regrets. So tigers, in specific, don't really have ego. As I said, neither do the others. But the tiger is a good example of this. Now, there are stories, if you Google it on YouTube, of poachers going after tigers, shooting them, and then the tigers become very vengeful, very calculating, tracking hunters, tracking the scent back to the cabin, and disemboweling them. Many poachers have died in the taiga forest in Siberia as a result of this. So what I'm saying is the tigers do not hunt for sport. That's a human quality. But they can take that on if the human makes a mistake. And I would definitely say it's a mistake to try to kill such a majestic creature who's just minding its own business, eating its prey. So the human mind is the first stage. If we have the wisdom to learn from the crane keeps the tiger within cool. When you start to develop these styles, if you don't have the human mind developed right, the creatures develop an ego. The human wears off on them. So the human mind is the first stage to conquering the human mind. A healthy body develops a healthy mind. Right? Once the mind is developed through meditation and through the development of the body, hard work, when this happens, the mind moves into the creature stage. So now we can take on the thought patterns and the mindset of a leopard, of a crane, of a tiger, of a snake if we need it. Now, over time, we get used to thinking and acting, replicating these wise creatures. And pretty soon, once there's a balance and understanding of the four, which is the control over the four elements within the self, then the portal to the dragon mind opens. Yes, I said portal. You become a vessel. The cleaner and the more pure the body, the more power and positive light, positive energy or light can come in. Knowledge is stored in vibration. The higher your vibration, the more knowledge comes in. So the dragon mind is the proper use of the four creature teachers, creature mindsets, which is the use of the elements. Now the dragon has its own entity underneath, its own characteristics and personalities underneath all of this. The dragon mind, as I said, reels everything back. Okay? Like I said, how do you deal with the hook punch? This is very important to know. And there's an overabundance of techniques to deal with anything. There's no such thing as a technique that has no counter. However, combat is often unnecessary. If you've done all the steps before you leave your house, to go to work, go out at night, imagining the possible scenarios that could happen, covering your bases. We're going out tonight. Who am I going with? Do they have issues? Are they cool? What kind of place is it? What is the time? Everybody goes out, a team of people having a great time. They're watching. They're not inebriated. Signs of trouble, they leave. Now, if you're taking all of these steps, the chances of getting into an altercation go way down. Now you're talking about random things on the spot. Someone jumping out of nowhere on drugs, attacking you. Something like this. Because if you're always paying attention to what's around you, because your level of self-awareness is high, then your chances of getting into an altercation go down, way down. No matter what it is. Could it have prevented? Could it have been prevented, rather? Sure. Most of the time. Not always. Sometimes there's nothing you can do. You've done everything right, and still on the spot, it can happen. So, remember this. You're sitting on the beach reading a book, and all of a sudden you feel this presence and you look up and there's a person standing over you. How did this person get this close? You could read your book. Maybe your friend is next to you watching. Someone gets within 6 feet. Hey, how can I help you? You see? So the dragon mind reels it all back. And the dragon mind is understanding the four creatures first and foremost, and the human mind. Now, when you develop the dragon mind, you can go back to the human mind way more developed. Now, this takes a lot of work. Meditation, purifying the body. And it's a terrifying amount of work if you're full of toxins. But the truth of the matter is, it boils down to one thing. How much do you love yourself? Because if you're poisoning your body every day, it's not a lot of love there. How can you do this to yourself? Do you have children? Staying out late at night, drinking and smoking, eating food that'll make a pig sick. It's not enough self-love there. Self-love brings healing. All right? Self-loathing brings destruction. All right. We appreciate you watching. Seafood Les Clements out.